and welcome for spending this hour with us. Some amazing stuff. So, Samson, you and I were talking about what we're going to talk about. It's really about going back to the basics. It's really how do we start? Like when someone starts. So, the way I look at it, Samson, is like my business starts today, like that, like today. And to start with the basics. So, I'm excited to hear about how we build this business from the basics.
Well, Vaz, actually, you have been in the industry longer than me.
Yeah,
Yeah, right? How
I,
many? Right? I mean,
I have,
your
yeah,
experience in the industry started how many years ago?
25 years ago.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go. See,
And,
I
and and one of the things I want to say about that, it doesn't matter how much experience you have. It matters is the activities, the income generating activities and the actions that you take to be successful. I think that's really key.
that's right. That's right. One of the things when I first started in the industry in 2006, of course, I don't know anything, just had a number of businesses. Um, for me, talking to people was not a problem, what, but after going, I mean, looking back, what, 15, 16 years now,
Mm,
it really brings to mind that it gives having, started from nothing to
mm,
learning the bits and pieces,
mm,
then starting to put it together
mm,
and then really making it work.
mm.
To be honest, it took me quite a few years.
Yeah,
I think a good 4 years.
yeah, yeah,
So one of the things that I thought today, me and you can talk about is the basics,
yeah.
because I think a lot of people, when they come into the industry, when they started a new business, they're so excited, right? Just like
Mm,
anything else, a new job, a new business, a
sure.
new car, a new watch, right? A new
Yeah,
jacket,
yeah,
a new dress, whatever.
yeah,
Okay, new pair of
yeah.
shoes. Okay, we're excited. Okay,
Yes.
how to make it work?
Uh-huh.
I think that really work to make to have it, to achieve what we want out of it. We have to build a foundation
Hmm.
of how to operate the business.
Yes.
I mean, this is before anything else. I think, well, just like a tall skyscraper,
Hmm.
your foundation, the deeper it is, the higher you can build.
Mm,
The more solid it is,
yeah,
the faster you can build.
yeah.
The hardest part to building a skyscraper is the foundation, which takes more than, I heard, 50% of the time.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing.
And it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, right? You don't want the whole thing to collapse.
Collect. Yeah,
You build it
yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
I mean, this is not only metaphorical, but it directly translates to our business.
Yeah, yeah, structurally and everything. Yeah.
So today I was thinking, we can definitely talk about the foundation, the very initial steps of starting the business. And, me and you can play off each other and share. And then after that, we can have some Q&A. What do you think?
Brilliant. So I hope you guys have notepads and pens next to you guys to write notes down and ask questions. Because
Okay.
this is, it's very rare that someone like you, Samson, who had so much success around the world in a very short period of time, is giving advice to people, not just advice, sharing what you've been through, like your journey. So it's really important to ask questions because you may not have these opportunities to ask questions all the time. Because I know you're not always on, so it's a perfect opportunity.
Yeah. Well, you are not always on either, right? Now,
Yeah.
so today we're going to talk about a few things which can be very interesting to some people. I know people who just started the business, and we have people who have spent a few years in the business also online.
Mhm.
So our intention today again is to share with you, um, from our experience, the true foundations
Mhm.
of our business. Because if you get the foundation right, then you can teach it. I mean, you
Yes.
do it, you know it, you do it, and you can teach it, right? Right?
So true. So
Leaders
true.
know the way, go the way,
Yeah.
and shows the way. John
Yeah.
Maxwell. Hey, I remember
Yeah.
it. Okay, so here we go. So we're gonna go ahead and start by sharing a doc that I have. It's called Fast Start. I've had this for years. It when I look at it, it really reminds me of the things we need to do when
Mm.
we first start the business. So Voss, the first thing when people start their business, they put in their application, they paid, they bought a package, they're ready to go, they're excited.
Mm.
So the first thing we should do with all that excitement, all that emotional energy, is to put together a list of 200 names or more. We got to write it down, put it together.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It could be, anybody that knows you and you know them by name.
Mm.
All right. And
Yeah.
then it's important to put the top people though. Who should we invite? Who should be at the top of the list? What do you think, boss?
Well, I think people who are people who are going to say yes to you because they're your parent or your sibling are the ones that are going to support you. Should be one. And another, I think the most powerful people are people who are hungry, who are successful in business, who you look up to in that arena. These people are going to look at this like, wow, because they see it faster. They won't see anything in the way of what this is, right? So I think people who are successful is really important.
Yeah.
And I think these are the people, Samson, that the hardest people. For example, the phone weighs a ton when you call them because like, oh my gosh, what would Samson think? He's already successful. He's got this beautiful house, cars, all this stuff he has. I'm afraid to call him. That's the person you need to call first.
Now, let me ask you, when you first started network marketing, did they teach you the same thing?
And they did actually back then it was a list of 100 people. And when I was asked to do that, I was like, well, I don't know 100 people. And it's a common thing, right? And when people say that, it's like, I actually do nowadays with the smartphone. You can scroll through. There's a list of people, right? I think what happens is we go into to look at, okay, who can I weed out before we even start the list. So I was just told, write the names down. Just write anyone and everyone down, from your parents to your siblings to your relatives, your friends from high school to your my dry cleaner, dentist, doctor. You do business with them, right? So I wrote everybody down.
That's right. Do not prejudge.
No.
And folks, the biggest reason is this. Maybe some of you have heard it. Okay, your net worth, okay, is not in the bank. Your network is your net worth. It's about who you know in life. Really, it's about who you know, because I've seen it over and over and over and over again. Yeah. Okay, the fact is, one person can open doors for you to thousands or hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. You don't know who that person is.
Yeah.
So it might be somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. So what I would highly recommend, and Voss would say the same thing, is do not prejudge. You don't know where these people would take you. Don't worry about what they're going to do the business or not. Don't worry, just put their name on there and organize it. Put the top 20 people who are the open-minded, hungry entrepreneur. Yeah, they're very positive. Yes. They are maybe they attract people. They're one of those people that the life of the party. Yeah. I always joke. Sometimes people say, I'm not sure if I can do the business. I don't know how to talk. But you know what? The best thing is, do you know people who know how to talk? Yeah. Right?
Yeah, it's totally true.
Boss knows how to talk. He knows a lot of people.
I wasn't always like this, Samson. I'm telling you. It's something you learn by doing, Samson. It's really about having conversations and not make that conversation mean anything. Like if you go to an event, what would Samson think if I go and approach him and talk to him? Or he's always around people. Why? So again, if you stop, that's that prejudging, right? And I'll tell you a really good example of prejudging. So the person who invited me or shared this business with me, his name is Patrick, very successful entrepreneur, multi-millionaire. He started in the beginning in 2009. And our friend Winnie had shared this with him. And about 2.5, 3 years later is when he told me about it. I said, Patrick, I'm really curious. Why didn't you tell me about this in the beginning? Because I knew him, because I didn't think you'd want to do this. Imagine, right? Imagine.
So if I'm sure you would have loved to join in 2009, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, like this.
Yeah, right. So we don't want to take opportunity away from people.
Yeah.
All we can be are messengers. Don't make yourself the message. Be the messenger. Okay. So what I've realized is when we go do the list, we take that excitement, that energy into putting it, be very determined to put the list down. Okay. And that literally becomes your roadmap to success. It's through the people.
Yes.
Because nobody can build a global business by themselves. You need a team of a group of people. You need people with you together. Okay. So look, don't worry about if they're negative people. Let me tell you something. The secret is sometimes I say people they're so negative. I hope that they don't join me. But I don't want to take the opportunity away from them, right? But
Yeah.
you know those people, you know, some of them they're so negative. I'm like, I'm gone. Okay, it's not for you. You're right. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I gotta go. So I mean, I have done that quite a few times. So yeah, it's not for everybody, but we don't want to take the opportunity away from anybody. Now to ground all that, okay. Now, so to make that list, don't prejudge. Just that literally is the roadmap to your business. Literally, the people. Okay. So some are going to be customers, some are going to be partners, some not interested. So just you got to keep going through it. I remember many years ago when I first met Kim in 2006, and that business she told us that she had about 216 names.
Wow.
It took her about 3 months to go through all of them, but out of that 216 names, she had 20 people who joined her in the business. Out of that 20 people, she had 1.5 person working the business.
Yeah.
And I saw her make millions. And why 1.5? She had one person who was full time, and then the other person was just part time.
Okay.
She had 1.5 person working.
I thought it was a child.
I know, half size, pint size. But sometimes, I mean, all the time, 100% of the time, you don't know who they will open the door for you. That's the thing. Okay. Now, next to ground all that, you got to have your why. Why are you here? Why are you in the business? Why, you know, look, compared to traditional business, I was one of those, you were one of those traditional business owner. When I started my furniture business, for example, it took me $250,000 to open the first store. Okay. I mean, I was lucky I had a real estate agent, and some of you know the story that, you know, I pretty much started with nothing, but I had the money to do it because I was in real estate. Okay. Now, so after that, my second store was like $500,000. It was a lot bigger. And then the next store was smaller, 250,000 again. But when I look back, you know, compared to what I'm doing now, if Jeunesse existed many years ago, I could have done this first.
Yeah.
It was impossible because look, the most you can spend in Jeunesse to start in the sign-up package is a little bit more than $3,000 somewhere in Europe, and maybe in Hong Kong. Okay, but you know, that's nothing compared to me spending hundreds of thousands, over $1 million over 10 years to open 3 stores.
Wow, that's a lot.
I have made so much more money because at the end of the day, it's not how much you spend. It's about cash flow. It's about rate of return. If you don't know what it is, how much you put in and then how much money you get back.
Yes.
This business, we pretty much have no overhead. It's just use the product, share it, use the product, share it. So now, if that was the case, if you had this ideal business, okay, that you can actually build, and the potential of the business is to 150 plus countries, that's huge. Just think of how many people live in those countries. We're talking about billions of people, right? So even though Jeunesse has been around 11 years, well, the billions of people, we haven't even scratched the surface. Think about that, right? So if that was the case, if the potential is there, think about what you want out of business. Why are you here? What are you looking for? Okay. So look, your why, it needs to be strong. You know, because strong if it's a strong reason, if you're tired of your job, if, look, Jack Ma, founder of Alibaba, he said, look, in your 20s, you do whatever you want, you make as many mistakes as you want. That's fine, it's normal. In your 30s, start to put a little bit more time, and that's when you really learn. In your 40s and 50s, that's really the time to make some serious money. You have the experience and all that you've gone through. Look, so people want different things, and the whys are different, and the cycle of life is different. It could be single to married to with kids or divorced with whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But life cycle is different too. Some people, even in our business, we have people joining in their 70s and they're already retired, right? They just love the product. They love to talk to people. So why are you here?
Mm.
In any business? Why? Because I did not do that in my real estate business. I did not do that in my furniture business. I thought, you know what? I work hard, I make a good living, and that's it. But why make a living? Why not make a fortune?
Yeah.
If you just spend the time.
Sure.
So,
I think going back to what you said about the why, Samson, a lot of people, they're not defining what their why is. They might say, well, I want to make a lot of money. So how much is a lot of money? What is it? What are you going to do with a lot of money? Once you determine that, I think people are vague about life. I mean, that's why going to work, most people, they just get up in the morning, go to work, autopilot, right? 5 days a week, 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. They're not really sure why. Most of the time they know they don't want to get fired. That's why they go to work. So they get a paycheck to pay the bills, right? So that's what you said about really making a living. Like you're out to make a living rather than designing the life that you want. And that's where the why comes in. I want this kind of car. I want this kind of house. I want this kind of vacation. I want to eat at this kind of place like this. I want to do something for others. I want to leave a legacy behind. I want to create something that wouldn't have been created if it wasn't for me staying. I think that's a really important part of that why.
Yeah, exactly. And there's much more too. Besides what you want, well, what about finding yourself, really challenging yourself? Successful people, they love to challenge themselves. If I'm so good at that, why can I not be good at this? Or maybe it's also a process of, you know what, this is a good option for me because the point of entry is so inexpensive to get in the real business, right? So I mean, there's so many reasons, but your reason has to be strong. If it's strong, it comes with commitment and desire, and consistency and consistency. If your why is strong, if, for example, we have people, it's very common. Here's a story. Maybe their kids are maybe in their teens, 12, 13, 14, and their kid's going to go to university maybe in about 3 to 4 years. And at the rate they're getting paid from their job, they're not going to have enough money for the kids to go to college. It's a very common theme. And so what they can make here, even if they put 100% of the money away, for the kids' education, is it worth it or not? Yeah. A lot of parents, that's what they want. They do everything for the kids. Right? So, and is that why strong enough? Because what if at the end of that time, you did not have money to send the kids to college? Would that impact you emotionally?
Sure.
Would that impact your kids emotionally?
Sure.
Another thing is, one thing what I witnessed, and because when I first started this, I was single and I don't have any kids, but so at that time I witnessed when I really start to get to know the partners, the desires for the children, I saw when the parents start to be successful, when the parents are working so hard and so committed, you know what happened to the kids? They learn that along with the parent. They also want the success. They also wanted the work ethic.
Yeah.
And when the parents became successful, and if the kids were a little bit bigger, maybe in their early 20s or something, the kids wanted to do something for themselves because they see when they see the parents do it, they see the possibility. When the parents, the self-esteem come up, the empowerment that the parents have about taking control of their lives, the kids feel like they can do it too. Amazing. It's very powerful. So it is something that kids or people learn not necessarily from just somebody teaching them. They learn from observing and listening.
I think it's what you said about surrounding yourself with positive people who are driven and up to big things in the world. Like, you know, when you're a child, you're around your parents most of the time, and when you see that, they emulate you, and it depends on the environment you grow up in, right? So that's why I think it's really important to set that example, not just for your kids, but for your team as well, and your business as well, where you can go to so many different areas, really about developing ourselves. That's brilliant what you just said.
Yeah. And one thing, and just on the side, I want to
Mhm.
emphasize this point. I'm glad you brought it up because there's a time when I was traveling a lot and working a lot. I mean, one time I was out 6 weeks away from home,
Mm.
somewhere in Asia. Okay.
You
Okay.
don't even know where you woke up.
Somewhere just bouncing from country to country, right?
Yeah.
I was just thinking, you know what? I mean, I was making good money. I was already emerald at the time. I was making pretty decent money.
Uh,
And I was very close to dime at the time. And I just thought, you know what? Looking back, I see how much our friend Kim Hui sacrificed
mm,
as a son. And so when she travels and she works nights, never stops. You
yeah.
sleep. She was sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night only for how many years, right? And
Mm,
I just thought, one of the thing is, you know what? If she puts that sacrifice for what? Not only for herself, but for people, because people who know her, we know that she does it from her heart. She knows
mm,
the power of opportunity, right? So,
mm,
and a lot of us see that when I
mm,
reflect back, those tired nights at the hotel after meeting all morning, get up, from 7 to like 12 o'clock, and then get up, do it all over again next day, and then do it for 6 weeks, and then every month. I just thought, you know what? If Kim can do it, I can do it. It will be shame on me not to be successful if I know really how much she sacrificed.
mm,
It's way beyond just out there and talking on stage and or talking to people one on one. It's about taking on the responsibility
mm,
felt that she need to help everybody, as many as possible, and then also to fight for the things that we need in the
mm,
field, build the business successfully. She need to talk with the company all the time. That's a stress most of us don't have. So I mean, through her why, her I saw that she know the power of opportunities. So I just say, you know what, we're gonna go. This is one of my reasons why. You know,
mm,
because when we hang around successful people, they don't expect any less.
yeah. Yeah.
So look, for all of you out there today, look, I don't know how you feel about what I said, but I think it's important that we elevate that. Look, we can only do our best.
Mm,
How we can do better than our best
mm,
is to be really open and working together. Then we can truly be better than our best. Okay. Now, so let's keep going. So
yep.
number 3 is goal. You got to have a game plan. All right. So you got to get a smart delivery. Find products that you want. 60 CV a month. Use it well. Enjoy it. Okay. Like yesterday, our lovely Nargis was on.
Mm,
From your team, and she was just sharing that she just wanted good skincare. But when people stopped complimenting her, it was like, wow, hey, she felt good. When
mm,
you feel good, you automatically want to share. It's easy
mm,
to share. It's easier to share.
mm.
Okay. So people that join the business don't use the product. I say, don't do the business. It's
Yeah.
not you.
It's not worth it. Yeah. I think it's that believability. If you don't believe it in yourself, people can really see that, especially in conversation, especially when they're talking to you. I don't know about that. Are you really using your product or are you saying it, right? Then you become that salesperson trying to push something, and then people can sense it when you're doing that. So if you're really a product of the product, people can see it. They'll ask you questions. I mean, uh, when you talk about Nergis, actually one of her friends in Australia saw her a picture that she posted, and because of that, her other sister in the US became one of the team members just because of an experience she had. So it's really important that we use all the products and experience it, because Samson, if I don't use them, I don't know how it's going to work for other people. How can I share something, right? I think it's really important that we get on the product.
That's
And
right.
And it's a commitment, like you said commitment. I wrote that down. It's really we're committing to our life, not anything else, not to Jeunesse, not to anyone other, but to our life. What are we committed to? Committed to have a better life, right? For the most part, it's really about the commitment to ourselves, not I'm committed to this company or this product or anything. It's just commitment to us for our better, to better ourselves. And that's why these products are there for you to see the difference.
That's right. And one very important thing is that if you work hard, reward yourself, use the product.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Look younger, be happier, be more healthy, act younger, have more vitality, more
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
So look, the game plan is very simple. Stay active, get on the smart delivery, and move up the rank from qualified to J to Pearl to Sapphire. Then we got Sapphire 25, 50, Sapphire Elite, and then Ruby directors and that, right? Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, Double Diamond, etc.
Yeah.
So follow it. It's pretty simple. If you don't know, go to the website, go to Opportunity, and make sure you download the financial rewards plan. It will tell you exactly the rank. Look how it's qualified. Once you've done that, get with your sponsor or your leader, okay? And then take action. They will tell you exactly what to do. Okay, now number 4 is training. Training is a big part of your learning and growing experience personally and in the business, right? So one of the things that we always talk about is plug into the system. So at the beginning, many years ago, I said, what do you mean plug into the system? What does that mean? What does plugging in means? That means attending, taking time and attend the events, such as this webinar. You can do it once a week, twice a week. It's very important. We have the YouTube channel, USGS official channel, Kim We Live, and also a couple of our leaders have our own our YouTube channel. Also, we have Facebook groups, etc. Make sure that you spend time. The way I look at it, boss, when I first started, I saw the potential of how big it could be. Now, as a company as a whole, right? I wasn't sure how much I can get out of it, how much I would do. But you know what? I don't want to miss out because I know, Kim's gonna make money, Weenie's gonna make money, Tina's make money, Robert's gonna make money. The 5 of us, I was the only one out of the 5 who never really make that much money in network marketing in this business at all. So I'm like, I don't want to be left behind, because the way I promote it was that if we can learn just one thing, not a lot of things, if we can just learn one thing that can change our mindset to help our business move forward, and I become a millionaire as a result of that, yeah, I would attend it. That's how I treated each of the training or events, and that's how I promoted it. And you know what, and that's the thing. See, I would tell you that, doing event after event after event after event after event, and then getting the opportunity to present, I learned the business that way. That's how it's done. You learn it by attending, but you learn even more by doing.
Yeah, yeah, so true. There's that saying, what you see, you forget. What you what you hear, you forget. What you see, you remember. But what you do, you understand it. So it's really about doing it to really understand it. And a lot of people, Samson, say, oh, it's that same thing again. It's that same training, or it's the same presentation. Listen, I watch it all the time. The reason is, like you said, you just take one bit out of that. Right? That makes a difference for yourself. And maybe it comes from someone else. So that's why I believe it's really important to be in the conversation, Samson. Like, yeah, there's TV, there's all this stuff. What is that doing? Are those activities that are generating income? Or is this something that could generate income for myself? Of course, there's so many people to learn from, Samson. And all it takes is one word that somebody says, now I got this. Now I know why I should be here all the time. It's really being in the conversation. And if you're submerged in it, that's when the words will come out. That's when you learn how to present, how to say something, how to invite somebody. And I know we're going to go over that in a few minutes, but it's really about submerging yourself in the conversation of the business.
right? And with any job or any business, you need training.
Yes.
So you know what you're doing.
Yes.
Well, I mean, see, the thing is also, uh, for the training, you have to be open-minded.
Yeah.
You have to look at it with fresh eyes instead of
Yeah.
tinted lenses, you
Mhm.
know? And the reason is this, because look, if you work very hard in whatever job you've had or whatever career, and you're at the top of the mountain, well, our kind of business is a different mountain.
Mhm.
So how to get from one peak to the other one? You have to come down first and then climb back up. But if you do it that way with no preconceptions, with no prejudice in how the business work, you will hear more clearly, you will understand more, and
Mhm.
you'll be able to ask the right questions to your
Mhm.
sponsor or leader to truly understand it and take action to do it. Now,
Yeah.
next thing, when people first start, they should plan some event for themselves. Look, when everybody was able to meet, we call that a like a PBR, private business reception. Just get together,
Yeah.
launch your business. I've done that for people over and over again many times. Aside from the big meeting, as a group, and we just share what's happening, and
Mhm.
definitely have your sponsor there, your leader there to help you present the business instead of you. You're just the bridge.
Yeah.
And so that's something that a lot of people, they forgot to do when they first started. Hey, I'm starting this business. Now it's all on Zoom or online. Hey, we got to get on. You got to support me. I'm gonna share with you what I'm doing, and look, let me know if you can help or not, or you want to do something together. And
Mhm.
that's it. Don't explain what it is.
Mhm.
So from there, you got to make it important, okay?
Yes.
But to invite people like that, and you got to make it so important. It's like something you would call somebody 1 a.m. to tell
Yeah.
them about. It's
Yeah.
that important. Oh, your
Yeah.
house is on fire. It has to be that kind of important.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
kind of like you found a gold mine and you need two people to dig gold. Who are you gonna call? Right? And would you wait till the next day? No, you're gonna call them right away. Hey, listen, we found a gold mine. Let's go dig gold together.
That's right. That's right. Look, you got to talk to at least 10 people a day. That's 50 a week. That's 200 people a month you can talk to if you work 5 days a week. Okay.
Yeah.
And then if you figure 10% of the people, they decide to buy a product or become business partner, that's 20 people a month. Now, the question, look, that sounds like a lot of people. Is that 200 people a month, 10 people a day? But that conversation, it could be very short or it could be very long. We don't know, right? We need to catch people at the right moment that they can talk. You
Yes.
know, like don't expect a long conversation or presentation when they are at their job or their
Yeah.
work, at
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
business. All right, you got to do that outside of that.
Yeah.
So you got to be smart in about setting aside time to
Mhm.
talk about this literally global business is
Mhm.
very important. That part is very important. You need to put it that way. If they don't have time, then you wait until they have time.
Yeah, that's really a key point that you mentioned, Samson, because a lot of the times, if you don't ask them, hey, do you have an hour that you could spend with me? If they say no, then you can say, we have to schedule another time.
Yeah.
Because it's almost that takeaway where it's really important. I got to spend that hour. And because if you don't do that, what I've learned in the past, Samson, is that when I'm in the conversation, like, oh, I gotta go right now. Oh, I'm not done yet, right? So then you're left, and you might not have another opportunity to share with them again because they may have spoke to someone else after they left, and they might say, "Oh my gosh, one of those things, don't do it. My uncle did it, or my grandmother did it." So it's really important that you block out that time with that individual.
Well,
And
I'll tell you guys a quick story because this happened to me. So I had somebody start the business,
Mhm.
and she was very excited. She said, "Oh, let's have I can do a private business reception,
Mhm.
okay, a launch at her sister's house."
Mhm.
I said, "Okay." Then of course I had the question, why not at her house, right?
Mhm.
She said, "Oh, it's gonna." She was a nurse. She said, "Oh, it's gonna be. We can do it Wednesday at 3 p.m." Now I'm like, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Oh, well, she said, oh, that's when the nurses get off of work. That's when they finish their shift. Ah, okay, I got it. Okay. So I go there of course, early at 2:30, right? Uh,
Uh-huh.
and nobody is there, right? And then she shows up late, right? At 3:05.
Yeah.
Eh, So where's everybody? Oh, they're on their way. They're getting off work right now. I said, this is very interesting. And I go inside, set my stuff up, and I got my little computer and everything. Her sister came later. Oh, okay. And then another person came later. By that time, it wasn't three. It was four already. 4 o'clock.
Wow.
And okay, so then I said, okay, well, maybe we can start. I don't know who else is coming. Only two people at that time, right? So I start doing the presentation, and she didn't make it important enough to tell people to be on time, right? So anyway, about 4:15, another new person walks in the door. Oh, I kind of have to start all over again, right?
Mm, mm.
And then about 5, 10 minutes later, a couple more people came in. Oh, I have to start all over again. It's like, oh, this is becoming a disaster. Okay. But anyway, so that time, talk, 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 talk. Oh, it's 5:30. They all have to leave.
Yeah.
I go, where are they going? Oh, it's Wednesday. They're going to church. Wednesday night. I say, oh, great. Okay.
That
So
has happened to me, Samson. I know exactly what you're talking about. I
so
didn't make how important that time is.
yeah, so it is a business. We need to treat it as a business. All right. So we've all done that. We've all done that. All right. So anyway, be consistent. Talk to people every day. Make a note of that. Now, of course, what do you talk to them about? Oops, hold on. What do you talk to them about?
Mhm,
Well, you gotta learn how to invite them, right?
mhm,
Well, if you're a new distributor, you can use a guideline. I call it a guideline. Some people get really stuck on it, but it's form. It's easy to remember. SFORM. Talk about family. Talk about occupation, recreation, and money. Right
mhm,
now, the way I like to think about it is, because I find a lot of people get stuck on those. They have to go through all four of those every single time. Okay, but what I like to say is that, well, think about what you normally talk to your friends about.
mhm,
If they're good friends, family and friends, what do you really talk to them about? Oh, how is Johnny? How's your son? How's your daughter? How's the job working? Are you getting that raise? Hey, are you going on vacation anytime soon? I am. So you
mhm,
talk about those things. So you free from yourself, free yourself away from the structure.
mhm,
But
mhm.
if you forget FORM, okay, and then peak interest. So maybe Voss, you can share with them how you peak interest.
Yeah. So what I normally do is I make it intentional, Samson. If I'm calling someone, let's say I'm calling you, Samson. Hey, Samson, I have something really important to share with you. But and before I do, I want to catch up. I want to say, hey, what's going on? What are you up to? And I ask questions. I'm really curious about what Samson's up to, and I listen to what Samson says. I want to know, okay, what's working in Samson's life and what's not working in Samson's life. And when I'm asking these questions, automatically Samson's going to talk about something that's not working. Right? This is human nature to have conversations. And peaking interest is really about finding out like what area that Samson's looking for freedom in. And by doing that, I'm listening to, okay, well, Samson's talking about his work or what's not working. Maybe he's concerned that the pandemic is affecting his job or that there isn't enough money. I don't know if I'm going to be furloughed or I don't know. So those are things I listen for. I said, you know what? I hear, so I recreate what Samson's saying. Recreation is really repeating, not verbatim what Samson is saying. So let's say Samson tells me about, his job. He's not happy, he's not sure. So I said, Samson, I hear that because of the pandemic that you may not have a job or you're not making enough money. So at that point, Samson knows that I am listening to Samson because Samson, well, talking to you, Samson, a lot of people don't listen these days, right? They're too busy. Let me cram everything that I know about Janess and everything about this down Samson's throat. Samson's like, whoa, stop. I don't want to know anymore. Because it's not about Samson at this point. It's really about me telling things, right? So people don't care how much I know or people only care how much you care about them. So if I'm really listening, Samson hears that I'm listening. That's when I say, I believe if you're if you're open. Remember, I said in the beginning, I said I have something really important to share with you, right, Samson? Well, important thing is this. Remember, you mentioned about your work. I may have something that may be perfect for you at this moment because of what you're dealing with. Would you be willing to listen to what I have to say? This may give you that freedom around about your work, about the not enough money, about working with people you don't like to work with. So again, specifically listen to what's important to them. And again, like the guideline that you're talking about, the family, the occupation, recreation, money, that's a simple guideline. You don't have to hit each one, but find out what makes Samson work. That's how I peak interest, Samson.
Perfect. Look, folks, I don't know if you picked it up. That was masterful, boss. That was
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Okay. Because you talk about asking questions,
Mm,
pointing out their hot buttons,
mm,
right?
mm,
And then asking them again, you
mm.
know, are they open or not?
Mm.
Would they like to hear?
Yeah.
Or no? If they say no, okay, move
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
You know what happened though? If you do that,
Yeah.
they'll be like, they'll be thinking after you leave, what was boss
Totally.
gonna say?
Yeah.
They'll be, you know,
Totally. Oh, do the takeaway, people. Don't cram everything down somebody's throat right away. Okay.
that's
And
right. So you can use a direct approach
yeah.
or indirect approach
Mm,
that way. Okay.
yeah.
Now, look, folks, I understand that today we won't be able to go over every single point here. All
Mm,
right. So you're welcome to take screenshots, and obviously that we can always, send this out to you if you request it from your leader or us. So we'd be happy to provide for you. Now, let's keep going. So one of the most important thing, though, Voss, let's say they're interested, and what do we need to do with them?
well, once they are interested, we need to qualify them actually to see is this something that they're that they're willing to have an open mind about listening. I think that's really important to have that. And then what I like to do is an ABC conversation. Let's just say, because it's really important because my friends know who I am. Oh, Voss, oh, you could do it, but I can't. Or they might say, oh, Voss, what does he know? He doesn't know anything. So that's when I present my sponsor or someone who's other than myself an expert with an ABC conversation. And Samson, this is so simple with Zoom. I've done it. I've done it yesterday, the day before. It becomes so easy to do. It's so simple, not easy, simple to do. All I'm doing is I'm connecting with the person. They connect me. They're the bridge. So let's say, for example, in this scenario, let's say Angie. She's a person who's open to listening to what this is about because I already piqued her interest. I found out she's open. Listen, Angie, I am still learning. I'm still being coached around this about the business. I have someone really amazing who is actually a global leader. This guy, he has a heart of gold. He shares this with the other people around the world. He's actually helped transform lives around the world. You want to listen to this guy, okay? Because I don't want to just say, hey, listen, you got to listen to Samson. Angie doesn't know who Samson is, right? Why would I listen to Samson? Who's he? I have no interest in listening to some guy named Samson. And then once I do that, now listen, Angie, this is really important because I'm gonna find out. Like for you, Angie, I find out what time works for them, and I invite her by finding out what time works. Like if it's a Monday or Tuesday, morning or evening, and I lock in that time with her. I say, listen, Angie, I need to contact Samson. Remember the person that's coaching me around this? I need to find out if that time works for him because he is very busy. So then obviously I call Samson and find out, hey, would this time work? And I tell Angie, hey, listen, I was able to squeeze this in, and I have a time from 4 to 5 that he can squeeze us in. Now, would you really take out your phone right now and put that time in, like right now as we're talking? Okay, good. And is it in your phone? Because it's on my phone. I'm gonna let Samson know because make sure you're here about 5 minutes early because his time is very valuable and he has so much information to share with you. And that's how I do the invitation stamps. And I think it's really important when you do that because then people show up. And then also, not only that, I also messaged her before that day of the event, the day of the ABC conversation, and I also about an hour or half hour prior to it. So make sure that they're there because people forget. People have so many things going on in life, they forget. So that's how I set the appointment because I don't want to be the one that's sharing because I'm not the expert. And she also knows, wow, Samson's coaching boss. You mean I can have a coach to teach me how to do this step by step? Of course you can. That's how it works because I don't want Angie to think, oh, I have to learn all the things that Voss knows. I don't want to do that. So I think it's really important when you play that ABC conversation with people, and it works so simple on Zoom now.
Perfect. Because when you let other people talk for you and you edify the expert,
Important.
your the person that your friend or family, they would listen to them more than to you because
Yeah.
you told them they're the expert, and
Yeah.
they are. And the thing is, see, a lot of traditional business people like me, man, I did it all reverse many years ago because I had to learn everything before I can share. But
Yeah.
the truth is, you know what? That would take way too long. Okay, you won't
Yeah.
make any money for a long time. But
Yeah.
what you do is you leverage somebody else to explain for you.
Mhm.
You just be the bridge, like Boss said, and let the you be the messenger to invite and let the message come from the expert.
Mhm.
Exactly right. And folks, let me tell you, after 5, 10, 15, 20 times, you will know all the questions, you will know all the answers, you will know how to talk already. And
Mhm.
by that time, once you sponsor some people, then the new team member, they can you can be the expert for them because by that time you know already.
Yeah.
So
And one of the things that's really important during that ABC conversation is once Samson, you log in, Angie logs in, I'm there. I completely stop talking. I mute myself because all I'm doing is listening. I don't want to interject because Samson has a system. Samson will take that person from what their needs are, desires are, and what the solution is. So it's really that psychology of how to present it.
that's right. And if you did the peak interest correctly, you
Mhm.
will know why they are interested. And all you have to do is relate why they're interested to the expert. And the
Yeah.
expert will understand and know how to talk to them for you. All right. Now, in general, the people have different personalities. So
Mhm.
we can, and we can maybe one of the best practices or one of the tips that we can easily identify where the people's desire are is through animals. I
Mhm.
like animals. Do you like animals?
I do. I love this one though.
Well, a lot of times the people that we talk to, if they're interested in the business, they think of 4 different animals. We're
Mhm.
all a combination of them.
Mhm.
One is a shark. Shark. They are very aggressive looking. They like to make money. They're like rah rah rah. They're ready,
Hungry.
right? Hungry, right?
Yeah.
And we have whale. Whales are really big and friendly. Whales have a lot of little fishes around them. So they
Loving.
attract
Yeah.
people. They are friendly people. They like to help people.
Yeah.
Dolphins, dolphins, they love to jump in the water. They
Yeah.
like to play. People love to play. Like
Yeah.
Voss. Voss loves to play. He's like a
I
whale.
was gonna say you're all in one, Samson.
Well, even the sea urchin. I'm a sea urchin too. The sea
Yeah.
urchins are people. They need 100% of the information. They
Mhm.
always want more information. Always want more information. So those people might take a little longer to decide. Now, we're not necessarily one of them. We're probably a combination of them.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. Look, if your friend is a shark and they are very interested in making money, you need to let the expert know.
Mhm.
The expert know they need to talk to the shark like a shark. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if they're
Yeah.
like a way about helping people, we know where the intention will come from.
Yeah.
So this is something, it's a very simple tip and will help a lot, if we think about that, identify that. Okay.
And I
So
think Samson, when you talk about that, just going back to what you talk about the sea urchin, the one that needs all the information. Once they have the information, those are the people that you can't get to stop doing the business because they so understand everything. They know how it works. So it's really, remarkable how that works.
I know, like me, I'm so entrenched. Once
Yeah.
they, you see, I'm one of those people who are skeptical,
Oh, got it.
but I learned to be more open-minded
Got
and
it.
just take whatever information comes
Yeah.
without judgment. But what I do is then I watch how it was supposed to work. I watch other people work it.
Oh, got
Right?
it. Yeah.
So it had end up that I learned all the information, and by the end of the day, I'm so entrenched. My belief is so solid because I
Yeah.
know so much
Yeah.
that nothing can really move me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now, next, I think is very important. People need to know the rules of the
Mm,
game. Would you like
yeah.
to share them with our friends out there?
Oh, yeah. I love this. The apple, right? The rules of the game. Who is a red apple? Red apple spends 80% every time with them. That's who you want. What you want to do is red apple. Red apples are people like, yes, I'm in. I want to do this. I want to do like when Samson, when you were talking that day, the first time I was there, you were talking about the reserve and the serum. I was like, I'm in. I want to do this. I'm a red apple. Okay. And then there's a green apples. Those are the ones that you want to spend 20% of your time because they're always questioning, they're wondering what's going on. How do I do this? How does this work? How does that work? Yeah, you want to spend time with them. At the same time, you have to understand they'll take up a lot of your time, and time that you could be spending with people who are hungry, who are willing, who are open, who are like, let's do this, let's go right away. I want to know, I want to learn. They want to absorb everything. And the rotten apples, well, there's nothing you can do. They're rotten. They're going to tell you everything negative about the business, about the product. Oh, it's one of those pyramid things. It's one of those don't work. I take my pharmaceuticals. Those are rotten apples. Stay far away from them. Toss them away, okay? Because along this journey, Samson, I've actually had to stop having conversations with certain friends because they're not the ones that are up keeping me in an upbeat momentum phase in my business. So I said, thank you very much. I love you. You stay there, and I want to work with these red apples. They're ready to go. So I think it's really important. And again, red apples are always open. They're ready to go, right? So I think it's really important to understand who these people are in your life. And that doesn't no, by the way, a green apple can and always most of the time will turn into red apple, because once they have everything that they need, they're like, I want to do this. That's when, like, someone like Samson, you can't stop them from doing the business because they went from green to really ripe and ready to rock and roll.
That's right. Yeah, and that's the thing, look, the 4 SW and the N, you gotta memorize it. So
yeah.
There's some people, they will join you, some won't join you. So what? Someone's waiting next.
Yeah.
Now we can go back to the very first step, is to make your list of 200 people or more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not everybody will join you. That is going to be a fact.
Yes.
And the hardest thing to accept are facts.
Okay? Yes.
No, that's the way it works. So
especially from your loved ones, right, Samson?
Yeah, and you know what? That's just let it go. They need to do what they need to do. Like Angie, my sister, she got busy. She was looking for a job, desperate looking for a job. She found a job at Microsoft in 2009. Did great, and she's still doing great. Okay, while I got busy building Jeunesse. So, but it was not until later that she wanted to do something with it. So look, I just like I gotta keep moving. There's no guarantee that any one person can explode your business.
Yeah.
But there's a guarantee also that any one person can explode your business. So you need to find that person. You don't know who they are. You don't know. Somebody knows somebody knows somebody knows somebody who could be way down there. You don't know. That's the way life works. Yeah. Your network is your net worth. Right? Perfect.
And I also like to add, Samson, that really go out there and attempt to get 100 people to say no to you, because along that journey, someone's going to say yes. And then you work with their people. So you will never, I have not gone through my entire list yet, Samson, because I'm working with other people. So it's really that 200 name list. I haven't gone through everyone yet. So again, it's that journey, that process.
Exactly. So these are some of the other things, to be successful. I would never prejudge. I used to go into a meeting and maybe have some plan of what to say and what to do and this and that. I learned a lot of that is useless.
Yeah.
The most important is to be present with that person, so you can hear what they're really saying, and you can be caring about what they need. So then you can offer it to them. So never prejudge, right? Yeah. So, and I learned that many years ago in some sense, because in the furniture business, one of the store was close to Malibu. Okay, that's where all the movie stars, singers, celebrities, they all live there.
All the money.
Yeah, but then I would see people walking in jeans with a lot of holes. The T-shirt looks like really old, and they smell a little bit, but they end up to be some famous rock and roller, and they end up buying like $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 worth of furniture. So never prejudge, right? Never. So let them say no to you, and it's good because every no gets you closer to a yes, right? Like you were saying, and you must go through the numbers. Actually, faster the better. You don't even want to give them time to reject you. You reject them before they reject you.
Yeah. Right? And also, one thing I want to say about going through that list fast is you may never know, because somebody else may talk to them before you do. That's when you have a bad hair day, because they join somebody else's team. So I think it's really important to get through your people,
Yeah,
especially the ones
that,
that are hungry, are driven, are successful entrepreneurial spirit, yeah, open-minded.
that's right. And also at the same time, if you don't talk to them, somebody else will. It happened to so many people.
So many people, yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
have desired commitment. Talk to warm market first. Warm market are the people that know you and you know them. A
Mhm.
lot of people they try to do. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use the internet to do cold market. Trust me. You know, there's no proven formula to do that. You can expose it to a lot of people, but your conversion rate, which everybody wants, is
Mhm.
dismal. It's so
Yeah, very
small.
small. Yeah,
Yeah, because they're all strangers. There's no trust there, right?
exactly. There's no trust.
Yeah, so you got to be smart on what you do. You know, you got to have some idea. It's not about what you do to get the business. It's about your intention and how to get the business because people see your intention more
Mhm.
than they care about what you do. You know,
Yes.
so if you have the right intention and you communicate it properly in a way people understand it, then they will respond accordingly. As opposed to, you know, some people use this story to get them into the nest, end up that, oh, that wasn't really what they come in for. You know,
Yeah.
that's not the way it works. Again, and your reputation get messed up. So anyway, another thing is focus on long term.
Mhm.
You know, there's a lot of people on this call. I know some of my friends and business partners, they're good. They've been working, you know, they haven't achieved that their success yet. But you know what? You have to pay the price of success in full and upfront.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? The Kung Fu master
Mhm.
did not become a master starting as a master. You know,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have to literally, if they're teaching, if they're learning how to use their fists, they literally have to pound sand for how many years?
Yeah.
Literally. So focus on the long term, but you know what? Always keep your eye open for somebody in your team that can explode the business. You don't know who that is.
Yeah.
And you know what? You want to constantly create success stories here and there. And that's
Mhm.
what you focus on. You focus on the people that are working the red apples. You know,
Mhm.
worldwide, your story is very important because, you know, look, when you can build your story, when you can tell your story effectively, that can only inspire more people to do it with you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. And then any time to overcome objection, what do you use, Voss?
Well, I mean, there's ways to find out how. Okay, so what I use the F's, right? The good F's, right? Uh, when they say something about that their experience, I know how you feel. I felt the same way, Samson. You know what I found out, Samson? That's not the case. I found out this company is just an amazing company. People are making the money. So again, you got to go. You cannot. Well, you can do anything you want, obviously. But what works is really not confronting them because a lot of people confront. They want to protect. Oh, I'm with this company, Jeunesse. Oh, it's the best company out there. And when somebody says, "Well, I heard of that company, it's so good," what are you talking about? Then they get all upset, right? I used to think the same way. And you know what I found out? I found out something completely different. So you're actually agreeing with them in the beginning, and then you show them what you discovered in that process. I think it's really important.
It's very important. And at the same time, you got to play team.
Mm,
So even when you overcome objections, well, you don't have to be the only one there. You could have your sponsor, your leader with you there too. So play team. I think the one thing, the biggest mistake I made when I first started in the industry, in the first 2.5, 3 years, was that I did the business by myself.
mm,
You know, I go to the meeting, but I don't have any. I didn't bring any friends with me. All right, I always just go out there and do it by myself. That's the wrong way. The easiest way is to play team, to have work with your sponsor and leader and be open to it. Let them talk for you, because at the end of the day, what's your result? Your result, you want a good result, not a bad result, right?
mhm,
So you
mhm,
want to do all the best practices. These, you know, we've been doing this, and people in our industry have been doing it for years and years and years. These are the best practices, and this is the foundation. This is
mhm,
the foundation for leadership. This is
mhm.
foundation for duplication, to growing your teams, to inspire other people. This is the foundation.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully, you know, all of you out there tonight, this morning, afternoon, wherever you are, you got a good sense of how to get started in the business and know what the foundation, know what the things you have to learn to build this business. This is just the beginning, okay?
Mm.
Now, I know we're over time, but we
Mhm.
promised them Q&A, boss.
Yes, we did.
So
We did.
go ahead, folks out there. We gonna do another maybe 15 minutes
Yeah.
of Q&A. So you can pull up the chat, click on the chat, and type in your question. We are here to answer for you. Okay. So a
You
lot
can
of times,
close the PowerPoint.
I will.
stuff.
I will right now. Here we are. There
All
you
right.
go.
Good.
There's the boss.
All right.
All right. Yes, it's always good to know the basics.
Yeah.
One thing, boss, before anybody puts a question up, is that these things that we talk about today,
Mhm.
if everybody can master it,
Yeah.
master it, and not only by yourself, but with your sponsor and your leader, and get feedback from them, how you're doing and all that.
Mhm.
Feedback, the loop of feedback, right? You do something, you get the feedback, you do something, you get a feedback. That is how we learn fast.
Mhm.
The fastest way. I was actually telling my kids last week, you know what the smartest people do?
Mm.
They ask the right question, right? They don't just listen and try to figure it out. They ask questions. So and then the best people know how to ask the right questions. You know what I'm saying? So I think, look, nobody's asking. They must know everything. Oh my gosh.
Have you, when you talk about kids, Samson, what comes to mind is how kids ask everything all the time. Why is the sky blue? Why is this? Why is that? Why is it? Because they're not afraid, right? They're going to ask. So, and what happens, I think we actually in our head think, I can't ask that question. That might be not a smart question to ask. That's when you lose out. Every question is valid because if you don't ask, somebody is thinking about it. I guarantee you. And nobody's asking, the question doesn't get answered. Then you're stuck in that with that question or the objection that they may have. So yeah, it's really important that you ask questions.
Yeah, and I think also, it reminds me when you say this, 2 points. One is that if you don't ask, you will never know.
Yeah.
Right? Right? Because the best resource is not what's on the internet. It's from the people here to answer for you. Okay.
Yeah.
So the second point is the more you ask, the more you know. The more you know, the more you can do, the better. And I want to, always quote. There's one thing I learned which changed my life.
What's that?
So when I lost all that money in the furniture business, I went to take some classes, right? Tried to figure it out, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the classes, it was the Secret to the Millionaire Mind class.
Mm.
Okay? They had
T. Harv Eker.
Yeah, T. Harv Eker. Okay. Yeah. And then the trainer on stage, he said one thing. He said, you can be right or you can be rich. Which one do you want?
Rich.
Right? So that was it. So for me, I said, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
So I said, maybe I don't know anything. I just pretend I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Learn from the people who are actually doing it.
Yeah. So we have some questions, Samson. Perfect. Tell your first year story about Jeunesse. That's from 950 Eric, but there's no name.
Okay. Maybe my first year, I was very fortunate to be one of the first 5 people in Jeunesse, along with Kim and Robert, Tina, and Weenie. And out of the 5, like I said before, I was the only one who haven't made any money in the industry. I just made a decision. I say, look, whatever Kim do, I do. Whatever she say, I say. So I just observe and learn and do, observe, learn, and do over and over again. And, no matter, at the beginning, nobody was Jade, Pearl, Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald, Diamond. Nobody. Nobody. So you know what? People ask me, Voss, people ask me all the time, Voss, is that when should I start presenting? I say, you better start learning right away. When you present, you got to be ready. When you need to present, you got to be ready. I was presenting as a Jade, as a Pearl, as a Sapphire, that was it. So you got to take responsibility for your own business, okay? So then, we had meeting, look, when I first started, I sponsored 20 people the first week Okay, I did my work. I talked to a lot of people, talked to 50 people the first week. 30 of them say no. 20 people, decide to buy product, buy a
Mhm.
package.
Mhm.
Some of them, they want to try it out. Some of them, they say they want to make money. But end of
Mhm.
that, nobody moved except me. So it actually, even one of the one person returned their package, boss. I had a negative commission,
Yeah.
which was deducted the following week. Okay,
Yeah.
but I know it was. I still went out. I still think, oh, who can I talk to? Who
Mhm.
else can I talk to? Who
Mhm.
else is working? Oh,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I plug into every single event, right? And then after a couple months, Kim's all, well, you need to recruit some more people, build your team bigger, or else you're not going to make it. So at that time, my only thing was Jeunesse. I didn't have any other business or job. So I quit all my auction jobs just to do Jeunesse.
Mm,
So
mm.
that was it. My back's against the wall. And maybe sometimes people need to be up against the wall, have no choice.
Yeah.
If with that kind of, would I say, fear or survival, whatever it is, okay, you need to power yourself up and go do it
Mm.
and
Yeah.
force yourself to do it. You can be right or you can be rich. You have to force yourself,
Mm.
break your own comfort zone, be
Mhm.
uncomfortable.
Mm.
Is being uncomfortable. Okay, it is. So just go do it. Have some fun. Be crazy.
Mm.
It takes crazy people to make crazy money. That's why.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
So s-
be 3 months, be Sapphire, and then by my 6 months, I was making a 4-digit income, pretty good. And then 6 months after that, Ruby, and then 6 months, I think 5, 6 months after that, Emerald, and then
mm.
Diamond after that. So now
Wow.
4 months after that. So that's my journey.
Wow. Wow. And along the way, there's so many stories that that you could share along that journey. That's the beauty of the business. Now,
Yeah.
Michelle from Malaysia asked a question. Um, what she's asking is if someone new joins the business and they say, yes, I'm going to do this, and then along the way they decide to do it their way, and they're not getting good results, and then they cool down. What do you do?
Well, you can be a good leader, show them that you care about them and talk it out. Look, there's no guarantee. Your time needs to be invested with the people that are working correctly. Number one. Number two, the events, you got to promote the events. Everybody should plug in. So
Yeah.
hopefully, even the people that they're doing their own way, they will somehow turn around and change. Look, like I said, you can be right or you can be rich. Which
Yeah.
one do you want? Because the fact is, if we're all going to be millionaires, we would have been millionaires long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I mean, because we did not know the things millionaires know. We have not done the things millionaires have done. What's that? Les Brown say, you got to do the things that other people won't do to have the things that other people won't have.
Yeah. So true. So
You
true.
be hungry. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so just
So
take a little bit of leadership, a little bit of care, really from the heart, and see where the problems are. And look, we cannot force anybody to do anything, but we can always ask, are you open to listening? Well, I can give you some feedback, but are you open to listening?
mhm,
I say, ask for their permission to talk to them.
mhm,
A lot of times people, look, if you just tell them right away, they're not open, they'll reject it. Even they know what you say is right, they'll reject it because
mhm,
everybody has an ego. So
mhm,
if you ask their permission,
mhm,
you give them feedback. Well, you know what? There's a better way. Would you like to
mhm,
hear it? And then
mhm.
let them answer.
Yeah. Perfect.
And that's how
Perfect.
you get through it because you get their permission. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. I have another question from Sandra. How would you approach your new people when they don't leverage you enough? Even you told them this is a different business, and then best not to do it alone.
Well, there are people like that.
Yeah, there are.
There are definitely people like that. People are headstrong.
Mm,
But what we can do is try to get past that and get to know them more. Because a lot of time it's about trust. See,
mhm,
it's a lack of trust. That's how they survived. That by themselves because they have a lack of trust of other people. So sometimes leadership, it is about getting people together to move forward together. So leadership, that's part of leadership. You have to, you know, think of different ways to get deeper, different, we're all like an onion. Onion has many layers, right? And sometimes it's like peeling an onion. You're trying to get to the core to find out what's really going on.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. So
Yeah.
through leadership, well, you need that communication, but it's not what you tell them that they're not doing. It's just that there are other what is the root cause? Like, it's like a tree.
Mhm.
The roots, whatever roots they have, it brings whatever fruits they have.
Mhm.
So it depends on the root. You cannot change a fruit without changing the root. Yeah. So it does take a little bit of a leadership and patience to do that. But I would say that, some people take years to change.
Mhm.
Like me, it took me many years at the beginning before Jeunesse to learn, to change.
Yeah.
Went from a retail boss mentality,
Yeah.
you know, to telling people what to do, to really be humble and learning, and maybe just throwing away everything I knew before to
Yeah.
start fresh, one step at a time. Okay.
And I think a lot of people confuse this business because they think it's too good to be true, Samson, and they don't believe, why is Samson being so nice, or why is Voss being so nice? Because most people are used to that job mentality, right? Like everybody's crawling on top of each other to get ahead, to climb that ladder of success, bad mouthing and this and that. This industry is completely different. Like they want to support you, they want to help you get to the next position. I think a lot of people are stuck on that, not really being open to like, they are willing to help me. Let me just be open to that help, accept the help rather than try to do it myself. Because I think it's like, they're gonna get me somewhere. They're up to something. They're so used to that. People are used to that all around the world. I think that's what gets in the way. It's that internal dialogue, right? That sabotages our own thoughts and things that we want to achieve. We tell ourselves that instead of saying, I'm really open. Everything's blank. Show me how to do this. Instead of that, they have the internal dialogue working against them.
That's right. So instead of surviving at a job, okay, in our industry, we get together to thrive. Okay?
Yeah.
And to be honest, boss, look, in our industry, what I realized was that because I've seen so many people, these past 16 years, and you've been around for 25 years in this industry, is that the amount of success somebody can get, it does relate to who they work with.
Mm.
Who you work with is how you're going to learn, and you're going to learn what they do. You're going to duplicate what they do. Was it John Maxwell? He said, "Show me your mentor, and I will show you your future." Okay,
Yeah.
same thing here. Show me your leader, and then I will know your future. That's how it is. So it is up to us. So we are very fortunate that we do work with Kim, because of course she's the first one in all of Jeunesse. So everybody respects her, and we're very lucky. She has such a heart for other people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing, I would say, boss, when I first got into the industry and I saw her on stage say, "This is a life-changing opportunity," I say, I've never seen anybody's life change from a business, right? I wasn't even close to being open or open-minded.
Sure.
And then you gotta have heart. I said, how do you use heart in business? Well, you know what? We do here because it's a people business. If we work with people, we have to have some kind of, besides the head, all the logic, all the strategy, all the drive, it has to come from the heart, the motivation, the inspiration, why we're really in it. And it relates exactly to the next question, how to lead an inspired team, especially a new team. Your story, other people's story. If they can do it, why not us? That's how it is. So it's always step by step by step by step. For new people, you have a fantastic journey ahead. There's the breath of life, the time that you spend on this earth, but how the depth, how you experience it is really what you would taste in this business. You'll see the good, bad, and the ugly. Yeah,
Yeah.
enjoy it. It is what it is. It's people. So for me, leadership is about just getting the people moving in the same way. How to inspire? I don't inspire people by myself. It's a whole group of people. It's all, we each encourage each other. We all learn from each other. That's how we can get better, and
Yeah.
that's how we can master this business. That's how we can become master
Yeah.
of our lives. So I
Yeah.
hope that helps. Um, how's it
Oh
look?
yeah. There's the well, I think we're way past time, and I think this is really brilliant to go back to the basics, Samson, because a lot of people are looking for the basics. I mean, really, if you create today as your first day of the business and take those steps that you shared, make that list of 200 names, not just keep it in your phone, but get a notebook, write them down, because I think it makes such a big difference if you write down, because you connect with that person. Like if I'm writing Samson, Samson, he's an entrepreneur. He's open. He's driven. So connect with the people, really like that heart you're talking about, right? Instead of just writing names down, you got to connect with them. That's how you build your business, by connecting with people.
That's right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Beautiful, boss. Love the
Yeah.
answer. All right. Okay. So I think, what we'll do is, time is up. I hope, everybody enjoy our session today. It's a little longer than usual, but in a lot of nuggets in there. And, whatever goes through in your mind as we speak, you're learning it. You're changing.
Mm.
Your mind is changing. The thinking is changing. And your actions will change as a result of it. So just look deep inside yourself, not only in your mind, but in your heart.
Mm.
Why you are here, what you want to get out of it. Look at what we talk about today, and then go back and practice it and do it over and over and over and over again until you master it. And when you master it, do it even more, faster, more efficient. And soon, very soon, as you do it, you will see yourself advancing. Okay, don't waste time, or else time will waste you.
Yeah.
Thank you, boss.
So thank you so much, Samson. I really, I want to thank you for inviting me to chat with you today. I learned so much again, going back to the basics. So thank you so much, Samson, and we'll see you again.
Yeah, thank you, boss, and thank you everybody from around the world.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Take care.
Take care, folks.